Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme precept. Yoga Vasistha, Sthiti Prakarana, sections 25 onwards. And we are dealing with the parable of Dāma, Vyāla and Kaṭa, gods and demons. They continue to fight all through history. That's the Puranic literature, allegorical. Light and darkness, they are constantly fighting. And demoniac kings, powerful kings of demons, they began to think of how can they could allow the demons to conquer gods. And one demon king, Shambhara, came up with a wonderful idea. He studied psychology. And the idea is, his great soldiers were defeated because they had Vāsanās in their mind. Vāsanā is your subconscious state of your mind, contains various impressions. If he were to create generals that are not pressured by Vāsanās, Vāsana-free creation. Vāsana-free creation, how does it look like? If you insult the person will look so. Praise the person, he looks so. It's two ways. If you are highly advanced as sage, then that state is reached. But if you are not advanced, then you become a stupid animal. So, whether you praise the animal or insult the animal is going to eat you up. And he had a great success when he created Dāma, Vyāla and Kaṭa. 3 names. Dāma, that deprives you of controlling your mind and senses. Vyāla, that deprives you from having a poison-free heart. A heart that maintains snakish feeling. The feeling that has 2 teeth. Raga Dvesha. That bites you. Moha-based feeling. All this is natural. You see, don't be too surprised. Everyone dealing with all these stages. Dāma stage, inability to control the mind and senses. Vyāla state, inability to handle moha, a feeling of love. But love, that goes into a kind of delusion. Instead of loving, you are actually crushing the person. Instead of loving, in the name of love, what seems to you of loving, or being loved, all that you are doing, each one is crushing the foot, another crushing the hand. That's called lovey-dovey. That's Vyāla movement. And Kaṭa, your self-effort, the energy that could have brought you fulfillment of the purpose of your life, that energy is pushed away. Three great centers are affected. Kriya Shakti at your navel center, that allows you to do Purushartha, self-effort. That Kriya Shakti is Kaṭa. Bhavana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Bhavana feeling, and all the aspirations, etc., arise from your heart, called Ichha Shakti, and I term it Bhavana Shakti, both are same. That Bhavana Shakti becomes poisoned. Instead of having good bhavana, to help yourself to be uplifted, to help others to rise, it goes the other way. You dump yourself, dump others, invite them into a big ditch. That's a strange predicament of the masses. And Jnana Shakti, Dāma. Jnana Shakti, the mind and that strength by which you assimilate Da mantra in three ways. Dāma, allowing the mind and senses to become tame, not taming you, you tame them. So that's one type of Da. Another, the virtue of generosity, Dan, charity. Another, virtue of compassion, Daya. Dhamma, Dan, Daya. Three great qualities are pushed into one little word, letter, Da. And this point has not come to the study of the masses, you see. But all over the world, we use the word da, di, dau, didi. Dada. So when this da movement is restricted, instead of Dhamma, it is Dāma. Dhamma is scattered by Dām. Instead of Dan, generous heart, snake has captured the generosity. Vyāla. Instead of good actions that allow your kindness to operate, that has become Kaṭa. Dāma, Vyāla, Kaṭa. And they were created in such a way that they were not controlled by Vāsanās. Vāsanās, subtle desires. Now, if you want to go into deeper meaning, let me turn your attention to that. It is Vāsanā. Suddenly you are in a market seeing so many things. But suddenly your eyes fall on some particular object and your Vāsanā suddenly links itself to your personality. So, oh, this is what I want. Until then you didn't know what you wanted. So when you didn't know what you wanted, it was in the Vasanas. But it was active, waiting for you to come to the right occasion. The Vasana shows up. And it goes other way around also. If you lead yourself to abnormal pleasures, your mind holds those impressions, led by lack of understanding, you try to promote it. So that's how people become drug addicts. Get addiction to abnormal type of indulgence in the world. To give you a general understanding of Vāsanā. Vāsanā that causes all trouble. Sanskrit word for it is Kliṣṭa Vāsanā. Vāsanās based upon 5 points. Ignorance. If you love ignorance, you are intensifying the source of all miseries. But ignorance and knowledge, that has to be understood in a mature way. For the masses, if you collect all the data from the Google or from any other source, and you have, so I'm intelligent, I know everything. Everything that's within my fingertips. That's not real knowledge. Knowledge that allows you to grow. That type of knowledge I'm talking about. So, but people do not love that type of knowledge. They love to stay in a state of ignorance. The mind has that type of a trick. If it is not ready through sadhana, mind doesn't allow you to probe into who am I, what is the reality. Everything in this world is very important, but not I am. Actually, it looks very generous. Self-effacing. I'm joking. So avidya, ignorance, loving ignorance, that's one of the worst predicament of human being. You have human personality is a grand opportunity. Not to stay cozy with ignorance, not to stay in darkness, but let windows open. Next is asmita, egoism. Based on ignorance, a fictitious identity develops within yourself. You don't know who is I, but that I is constantly there, bugging your mind. And you have no problem with it. From morning till night, as long as you are awake, that ego, I, that has also an iPad. Your whole brain system is its iPad. I, with its whole pad, keeps you busy with world of past, present, future, or the entire universal complexity. When you go to sleep, you put your iPad behind your back. All moves away. But you are not at a loss. But during the day, if certain things happen, Good happens, you are agitated. You have to invite many people to share what you have gained, you see. You are agitated. Bad happens, you are agitated. Where as long as you are with your little eye, with your iPad, you are constantly agitated. But when you keep your iPad behind your back, that sleep state, you don't miss anything. This is a simple fact. But how to bring it in your life? If you assimilate it, it changes your whole life, your whole relationships. And there are many things involved. It makes you a saint. Saints have sandal scent. That's what they are called, saints. And even if you cut the sandal, still it gives you a scent. The sandal scent is different from all other scents. So I was coming to those kleshas, avidya, asmita, raga, attachment. Things are important which you love. Otherwise, you're useless. But your love is limited, led by your ego. So raga is creating bondage. Because things you love, you want them to hold, and you are constantly worried that they must be protected. And then after you have protected things you have loved, there comes a time you read all those things you have protected, they have chemicals. They are bad for your health. Now you have to throw them out. So raga and dvesha, both are big illusions. And they go on creating their vasanas. And final vasana, fear of death. Whose death? But it doesn't matter. There is constant fear. All these, ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, fear of death, these create their impressions. And from those impressions arise Kliṣṭa Vasanas. Kliṣṭa Vasanas exist in 5 stages. First stage called prasupta. Prasupta means dormant. Vasanas are there, but they are so sleepy that you don't have to worry about them. This story is related to prasupta vasana. Dāma, Vyāla and Kaṭa. The demon king Shambhara creates them in such a way that they didn't have active vasanas, as if they were vasana-less. So what happens in a storyline? The gods are unable to conquer them. Being defeated by them, gods go to Brahma, the creator. And Brahma explains to them, the secret is create in their mind egoism, and they will be defeated. So, now gods play tricks. Intentionally, they run away as if they have been defeated by the demons. While running away, they look back and praise the demons. We never have seen such powerful enemies. And the demons raise their head to hear praises. And then suddenly they turn around and exercise their They fight against the demons. Even though they have not made any big success, they start condemning the demons. I never thought. I thought you were so great. But look, we are standing and, and your power is not doing any harm to us. What happened? Your parents didn't give you food? I'm making up this story. Now those demons gradually become conscious of their ego and their worry about maintaining the ego in a state of popularity. And soon they were defeated. So coming to the deeper philosophy of Vāsanā, I have described that children are as if Vāsanā-less. Say anything to them. And children look at your eyes and forget it. Sometimes you are praising them, and sometimes you are talking something about parents, you see, that look, this child started eating mud. And the children look at the mouths of the parents, how they are enjoying talking to each other. Because the child has Vāsanā, and Vāsanā is not operating there. So that state of Vāsanā is not a praiseworthy state, because it is sleeping, dormant. It makes a person dull-wit. Extremely dull-wit people. This is the psychology of the terrorists. A type of Vāsanā that doesn't make them understand what is good for them. They make their whole life so cheap. So, that's called prasupta Vāsanā. Next state of Vāsanā, tanu Vāsanā. This is not exactly in the same sequence, but to understand different stages. If you were to follow sadhana under good atmosphere with satsanga, you will continue to control your Vāsanās, restrict fear, attachment, hatred, egoism. All this you will continue to turn into positive counterpart. Positive counterpart of ego is humility. Positive counterpart of raga is vairagya, dispassion. Positive counterpart of dvesha, hatred, is detachment from the world of illusion. Positive counterpart of fear is love of God. So you move away. If you do that, you begin to enjoy a state of mind that seems to be free of all problems. That's for tanu avastha, attenuated state. But don't stay satisfied with attenuated. Continue until the very root of these impurities have been destroyed. If not, it is described in allegorical way. It's just like you found a refrigerated snake, a snake in a very icy region. It looks so wonderful that put it on as a garland on you. There are some people do that. And lovingly give them a little warm milk. And now, snake, he says, In other words, if you keep your vasanas attenuated, you are not safe. The moment you give up your sadhana or become distracted, you are under the same influence. You become the same personality. Third state of vasana is called Vikṣipta Vasana. Vikṣipta avastha. Vikṣipta means you develop a clever attitude to your vasanas. Instead of going into deep insight, how to root out the very source of trouble, what you do, you hide the vasana. Some problem has come into your mind, and you simply shift your attention from that to something else. In a more vivid way, I will give illustration. Like you have invited so many people, and suddenly you look around your house, lot of cobwebs, lot of roaches, lot of those crawling worms. Now what will you do? Dust them out and put them under the rug. So nothing is appearing outside. People come and have your celebration. Though they go away, some suffer from viruses. So that's the Vikṣipta state of Vasana. And that's another big shocking truth. That belongs to the masses, which are considered cultured state of mind. So cultured that you know how to hide the bug in a very perfect manner. Then next state of Vāsanā is more crude. That is, you have no ability to hide it. But in your own mind, it doesn't make any difference. For example, in the ashram, people live together. One aspirant goes to the other for something, but the other aspirant, companion, becomes very angry. You have come at this wrong time. I was watching something wonderful. How was it, Yoga Nidra? It disturbed me. The man says, but have you not learned that one shouldn't be angry? He said, I'm angry? How dare you do that? I will tell my Guru to get you out of this ashram. That's the udara state of. Now your negative vasana is very generous. The ideal state of vasana is called dagdha bija avastha. When you become enlightened, all these vasanas simply dissolve, like cloud disappear. You don't know where it has gone. So you are dealing with these vasanas. And this story is meant to give you insight into the role of Vāsanā. So Dāma, Vyāla and Kaṭa, they represent that state of Vāsanā where the Vāsanā is in dormant state. So from dormant state, its strength continues as long as Vāsanā comes into another level of tanu avastha. That's what happened. God's created in those Dāma, Vyāla, Kaṭa, advised by Brahma, gods created in them egoism. The moment they had egoism, now they are not in that dormant state. Now they are affected by praise and censure, and they come to a weaker state. Now, what do you learn from all this? Now we'll go on presenting the study of the Yoga Vasistha. Those who are devoid of Vasanas, this Kliṣṭa Vāsanā, referring to Kliṣṭa Vāsanā that I have already described, those who are devoid of them, devoid not keeping them dormant, but through enlightenment you burn them up, as it were, they turn to void. So that's what come devoid. You remain balanced in pleasure and pain, gain and loss, success and failure, victory and defeat. Careful means you have to understand the teaching is being given in an advanced stage like mathematics. If you follow it literally, you will become a very dull-witted person. Someone brings to you the news, what he considers a good news, etc., and you show a face, stone-like face. Remember the Yoga Vasistha? Somebody now brings you another news that your very close relative is going to hospital. If you are practicing this, you have not really understood what it says. But literature says literally, be like that. But the real practice has nothing to do with. And it's presented, anyway, I will not go into too much detail. In other words, your being a human being, your humanity should not go into the dump. If pleasant thing has been presented, be cheerful. It won't hurt your face. Unpleasant is presented, let little tears come through your eyes. That will hurt your eyes. Premashru, tear of love. So, but all this is happening, but internally relaxed. This is what we mean by staying unaffected. Pleasure, pain, good, evil, adversity, prosperity. Be like a tree that must shake. But the shaking allows the tree to be strong at the root. It's being strong at the root, that's your objective. Shaking, if you stop shaking absolutely, it will make you weak at your root. You will be simply tossed out. So it's tricky. Spiritual teachings, therefore, need to be guided properly. If you take it very literally, you make your roots weak. Externally, you feel you have become a very great ascetic. You didn't laugh for 1 month. Didn't cry for 1 month. But you have not been alive. If you are alive, you will be shaking. But your shaking will be under your control. So that's what we mean. Remain balanced. Pleasure, pain, gain, loss, success, failure, victory, defeat. Each has to give you a lesson. From very childhood, things don't grow just positive. Every time a child finds difficulty in moving forward, tips a little, controls himself. So if that type of experience is not there, making error and correcting, you cannot grow. This is my body. To me belongs victory or defeat. This is my life. Such thoughts attract all the miseries of the world. All these are profound points. All the pain, sorrows, afflictions that human being experiences, the cause lies in avidya, ignorance. Led by ignorance, your identity, sense of identity becomes confused. Who am I? That you are confused about. All through the day, you are constantly aware of the body. This is my body. Somebody else gone viral. You say, what are you doing? You should have been in that body. And I don't have to lead you too much on that. Body-based pride is absolutely nonsensical. How long can you maintain your body? Even the best of your blessings may you live for 100 years. But after 100 years, so body-based attainment, that's just a little pinch of a dust. This is my body. To me belongs victory and defeat. This is my life. Simple point to understand this identity based on ignorance. I am the body. And this goes into 5 levels. Physical body called food sheath, vital, pranas, pranic sheath, mind and senses, intellect and ego, unconscious. All these are mixed up. The real identity of yours is beyond all these. That identity is I am, that am I, Ahaṃ Brahmāsmi. And that's the purpose of religion, spirituality, and Vedanta philosophy. If there were any object other than the self, one would be justified to sustain a desire for it. Put a question, what is desirable in the world? Truth is unfortunately only one. One absolute. Falsehood, countless variations. So between the two, you have to choose. But desiring falsehood, that's complete stupidity. Desiring to hold on to darkness, you can hold on to darkness for a long time. But anybody can go with a little flashlight. No matter how long the darkness has been there, it just vanishes. So all your attainment based on ignorance is brittle, transient. So therefore, The only thing to desire is recovery, discovery of who am I. That desire called aspiration. Since nothing exists other than the self, the desires of the mind are backed up by ignorance alone. The self-based identity, the real identity of yours has no need for desires. The sun doesn't need all the illuminations that are appreciated by human beings. The sun doesn't need them. Therefore, O Indra, king of all gods, devise methods of creating a body idea in these three demons. Then, when Vasanas develop in their minds, they will be easily defeated in battle. All this I have given to you, but now you can hear it again. Thus counseled by Brahma, O Rama, the gods planned to infuse egoism in the minds of the three demons. They valiantly fought against them for a long time, at times praising the demons for their valor, at times ridiculing them for their lack of skill. At times they humiliated themselves before the demons. At times they ran away from them in the battlefield. Since these three demons were unenlightened, they gradually developed a sense of egoism. The three demon generals had to flee in order to save their lives. Therefore, O Rama, do not follow the example of these three demons. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.